Welcome back to Multicultural Week. Today we're visiting the continent of Asia. In particular, we are going to be hearing an old legend or folktale from the country of China. Here is where China is located. It is in the continent of Asia, and it is the world's largest populated country. So China has the most people living there. I think there's about 1.4 billion people that live in China. Their capital is Beijing, and there's also another city called Shanghai. Both Beijing and Shanghai have the highest population cities in China. So the story we are reading today is a Chinese legend called Liang and the Magic Paintbrush by Demi. It's also a Reading Rainbow book, which is always a good thing. So let's take a listen. Liang and the Magic Paintbrush. Long ago in China, a boy named Liang earned money gathering firewood and cutting reeds. His one wish was to paint, but he could not afford to buy a brush. One day he passed an art school and went in. "I want so much to paint," he said. "Please, will you teach me?" "What?" The teacher glared at him. "A beggar wants to paint?" He drove Liang away. No money, no paint. But Liang could not keep his fingers still. When he went to gather firewood, he drew birds in the sand with a twig. When he went to the river to cut reeds, he drew fish on the rocks with drops of water. Everywhere he went, with whatever he had, he was drawing and creating art. One night, as he slept, an old man appeared on a phoenix and placed a brush in Liang's hand. The phoenix is a mythological type of bird. "This is a magic paintbrush. Use it carefully," the old man said, and he flew away. Liang jumped for joy. "Oh, thank you so much," he called after the old man. Immediately, Liang began to paint. He painted deer. As he finished, he saw that the deer came to life. It really was a magic paintbrush. "I will paint things for my poor friends," he thought, and he painted toy birds, horses, lanterns, and balls for the children, and for their parents, things to cook with, furniture for the house, and tools for the field. So he was taking that magic paintbrush and he was painting things for his family and friends to use. That's very nice. Then he went to the marketplace and set up a table among the other merchants. And he made pictures of birds to sell. He made sure the birds did not come to life. He left something out. One day, a man asked for a picture of a crane. Liang gave it only one eye, but by accident, one drop of ink fell where the second eye should have been, and the crane flew away. Now everyone knew about Liang's magic paintbrush, including the greedy emperor. He went out with all of his soldiers to take the brush away from Liang. But Liang refused to give up his magic paintbrush. The emperor ordered him bound and brought to the palace. There, the emperor ordered Liang to paint a dragon, but Liang painted a toad instead. The emperor then ordered him to paint a phoenix, but he painted a rooster instead. Furious, the emperor seized the paintbrush and ordered Liang to go to prison. The greedy emperor then sat down to paint mountains of gold, but they turned into rocks and rolled off the table. The emperor tried to paint again. He painted a large tree, but what do you think happened? It turned into an enormous python, which nearly bit the emperor's head right off. Liang knew the brush would lose its magic in the emperor's hands. He thought of a plan and he sent word to the emperor saying that in exchange for his freedom, he would paint whatever the emperor wished, and the emperor accepted. Paint me the sea, the emperor ordered Liang, and Liang drew a sea. Where are the fish? The emperor asked. Liang drew, and soon a sea full of fish were swimming about. So long as we have a sea, said the emperor, let's have a boat. Liang painted a boat, which was soon bobbing about in the water. Delighted, the emperor called the royal family to come and join him on the boat. Give us some wind so we can move, cried the emperor. Happily, Liang painted wind and the boat began to rock. More wind, the emperor cried, and Liang drew more wind and more, and soon waves were splashing and crashing over the deck of the boat. Enough, the emperor cried, but Liang would not listen. He drew so much wind, the boat keeled over, and broke into a million pieces. The emperor and the royal family sank to the bottom of the sea. The story of Liang and his magic paintbrush spread far and wide, but what became of Liang? Nobody knows. Some say he went back to his own village. Others say that he roamed the earth painting for the poor wherever he went. The end. What do you think happened to Liang? I think he probably roamed the earth painting for the poor and giving to people who didn't have much. But I thought it was very interesting that the magic only happened when Liang had the paintbrush in his own hands. So this is a very ancient Chinese folk tale. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story. And if you have time, why don't you look up some information about this Chinese culture? And if you enjoyed this book, there are certainly more stories out there for you to enjoy. I will see you again soon. Bye.